those who want to do that, that's fine for them. So what do you celebrate? Celebrate each day with a mantra, and that gets you ready to come to class. Because then when you come to class, your mind is clear, you've already connected with yourself, your chakras, your yoga, you do what you do, you drink your certain liquids, whatever, your wheatgrass juices or whatever. It's like you guys are born at a time now where everything is changing, the cosmos is changing. And when the cosmos starts changing at a certain time, information is right there for us if we're ready to receive it. But who is going to bring it to you? So if I say Star of Ethiopia, you don't have to take my word for it. You just check out what that is and get in touch with the people who put that production up. The way I'm celebrating it, I took it to the American Film Institute and shared it with people and said, black people were organized enough to do this in 1915. And there's not one black theater company, professional or community in the nation's capital as we speak. So in 1915, they're doing stuff like that. But in 2016, if I say, let's go to a black theater space in Washington, D.C. and see a play written by a sister or a brother, we're not going anywhere. You're not going to find it. You can go to Arena Stage, you can go to the Studio Theater, you can go to the Woolly Mammoth, you can go, where is the black theater in the nation's capital with all of this talent, all of this money and resources? Where is the black theater company that pays people? Equity theaters, it's called. You're not going to find it. So as you study certain things, you'll say, well, hey, maybe I can work with some of my own people to build this. So when I come to speak, people say, what are you going to speak about? I'm saying, I'll speak about Sun Ra. Well, what does Sun Ra have to do with broadcast journalism? I said, well, they have to find out themselves. Sun Ra would come on stage with an antenna on his head. In broadcast journalism, that means that vibration is used through technology. What do you think we have? You study the Dogon tribe. The Dogon tribe, every 50 years, they celebrated a star called Potolo. And the white folks did not find out about Potolo until fairly recently with technology, and now they are studying black people from Mali, wondering how did these people know that the star Sirius existed and they did not have the technology that we have. This is the time frame we living in now. Check out the Dogon people. Make that part of your media studies. Make the Star of Ethiopia part of your media studies. And guess where I found the Potolo at? A Stevie Wonder documentary called The Secret Life of Plants. Jot that down. You want to get ready for the time frame that you're living in and how you can take this information that the ancestors give to us, not television, even though you work in television. Television feeds us nonsense over and over again. We got people who say they have faith in God and Jesus and are so afraid of these two people running for office right now. They're so afraid of these two people running for the president, but they got all this faith in God and in Jesus and act like these two people running for office are God. But that's constant programming to fear, to be afraid of what's going to go, to be afraid of what's happening. It's a political season. We got to shoot some black people because this is what we do in political seasons. That's history. That's not me speaking. That's not Malcolm speaking. That's history. Whenever there's a political season, black people get killed to strike up the fear of white folks. But there's a woman that came by the name of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing that's going to knock all of that madness out of the way. So as you as broadcast journalism, how is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing going to fit into your future? It's up to you. Because when I speak, I don't come to tell people what to do. That's a problem that we have, right? Instead of calling each other out on Twitter feed, call for more humanity, so more take heed. Have mercy, Lord. Bless up our V chords to cut through politics so we get sharp as swords. Yes, you, me, we, in harmony and sync. How do you think we broke slavery's chains? You use the power of words in your writing and get the ancestral, because that's what I'm celebrating. That's what I'm here to tell you. This is the time for you, if you wish, to tap into ancestral magic. It's always been there, but it's not taught. because they'll call it black magic or they'll call it voodoo. And you saw a woman popped up on screen here. How many of you are familiar with Uzan Palsi? Uzan Palsi, important woman. Uzan Palsi is the only black woman, the first black woman to make a major Hollywood studio feature film. So a couple of people said film, they were interested in film. So if you're interested in film, and we don't know that there was a black woman who's the very first black woman to have a Hollywood major motion picture finance, she can be an inspiration to you. Anybody that says, how many said they were into film? Right. Uzan Palsi. The only woman to direct Marlon Brando. Y'all familiar with Marlon Brando?
Heard the name.
Most people are. I said, how come we're all familiar with Marlon Brando? What did he do that makes us all familiar? That's right. Anybody else? How do we know about Marlon Brando but don't know about Uzan Palsi? Anybody else? Come on.
Because it was a movie.
Right? Popular movie. So we don't know about the sister from Martinique who Robert Redford saw her film called Sugar Cane Alley, her movie. A sister from Martinique. So everybody's from different places, right? This is a young black woman from Martinique makes a movie called Sugar Cane Alley, and it rocks the film festivals. Doesn't rock America's film festival because America got a lot of gain. That's why they don't want us to connect to other parts of the world, particularly Africa. So they'll tell filmmakers, well, you know, black films don't sell in Africa, it's a lie. See, because they don't want us to, never wanted us to connect. I said I was from the 60s, my fro was out to here. My fro was so big that it looks ridiculous when I look at pictures now, right? When you look back at yourself, say, man, that looks crazy. But we were fat, there she is right there. I'm getting ready to work on a film about Haiti with her. That's why I mentioned her. He's one of the screenwriters. This is a bad sister, you should all be familiar with her. Okay, because she doesn't play. She was offered Malcolm X. That's what she said to Ava DuVernay. She called me out to California and said, I want to make you a movie. I wrote a script about Haiti with that fella. And this lady, so when I say celebrate, I'm here to celebrate with y'all. Because I want you to know that you're going to be working with some very interesting people based on the information that you get from school, your instructors, and then your own self. Because if you come ready, something happens to the atmosphere when you come to school. If you come ready, something happens to the atmosphere. When we come with vibration that's off, when I said, come, let's get in sync, when you're not in sync, certain vibration happens, we don't understand why, and people also get high too. So why do you act like that? Say, people get high, I tell people, so you forget people get high. So remember that when people act crazy. I tried to speak to her, she had an attitude, well, the vibration was wrong. You don't know what happened in her family yesterday. When we come to class, we come with responsibilities and problems, but if you come in sync to class, all of a sudden you're gonna be shocked that the professor is gonna say something to you that resonates differently. And it's only resonating differently because of the mindset and the vibration that you're carrying. It's called aura in the 60s. I'm an old hippie. They say hippies, what was the hippie movement about? The hippie movement, it was about connecting to the cosmos. So whether they were white folks, black folks, it didn't care about the skin color. Anyone familiar with Rod Serling? The Twilight Zone. Anyone familiar with the Twilight Zone? Okay. The man who created that show did more for black folks in television that they want you to know about. So a lot of times when people say it's not about skin tone, what they really mean that there are people who come to the planet who have a variety of shades, but we get caught up in this madness of shade that we don't understand or overstand, as the Rastas would say, that sometimes you've got to get past the tone of somebody's skin. No, I don't. I'm black. So Dr. Wellesley comes along and says, CR 24/7 times 9 equals justice. Now, what happens if we start wearing that shirt? Okay, we have shirts. Black Lives Matter. What will happen when people start wearing CR 24/7 times 9 equals justice? What's gonna happen when we start wearing that shirt? The shirt is out, by the way. I've been wearing it for 30 years. Counter racism, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week times 9. 9 is the 9 areas of people activity: economics, entertainment, education, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Those are 9 areas of people activity. If you counter racism, so-called white supremacy, in those 9 areas, you will produce justice. You'll stop asking for it. That's the gift of a DC woman named Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Now, how does that affect you if you wish to? It's a formula and it's a solution. That's what we have to have. Opinions, we will argue all the time about opinions. But when you are interviewing somebody, and if you want Dr. Welsing, when you're interviewing someone, you can interview them and say, how do you affect change in the area of the 9 areas of people activity? You ask somebody that question, excuse me, of the 9 areas of people activity, how are you affecting change if you're in the area of sex? How are you affecting change in the area, the people area of sex? You'll get some interesting answers. How are you affecting change in the area of politics, religion, sex, war? This is Dr. Welsing, because what Dr. Welsing dropped is the final thing. Other people trying to. There's a minority on this planet that oppresses people of color all over the globe. They're the minority. So we're running around here interviewing people with minorities, it's your choice. Do you want to change as media people? And start exposing the real minority? A group of men who oppress people of color all over the planet? Or do you want to fight amongst each other, like, are you into this minority? Are you into that minority? Are you into are you gay? Are you a lesbian? Or these labels where the real minority is affecting everybody. So when you start celebrating the ancestors, all of a sudden you have something that you can come together with your students, and you come together with people who you see every day in your professors,